Okay, today we have a 1997 very rare Land Rover Defender. This is the NAS, which stands for North American Spec, but this is over and above that California Spec, which I believe means there's a little bit more on the smog, and a little bit California is a little special, right? But this is quite the specimen. If you know your Defenders, they sold from 93 to 97, and this is a 1997, highly sought after. As the last hurrah, when Defender knew they were no longer going to be selling these in the US, they, in 97, had 300 of the willow green. This is part of that 300. However, it has been repainted. So this is British racing green to kind of pay homage to such a beautiful, iconic color. And in my opinion, out of all the Land Rovers I've seen, in 1997, the paint does age, unless you have it under wraps all the time. But this paint to me is even better than what we would be seeing in a willow green. It is phenomenal. And as you know, all aluminum body, you always see the rivets. So you still see the rivets here, along here, so nice. But usually there's dents and dings, you just can't help it. And this body, the panels, you can tell it's just so well cared for. It's just in incredible shape. Let's just finish our 360. So in the sun, you can just see the metallic pop, but when we get into the shade, it's just such a cool color. Super clean. So as you know, in California, rust free, so it's so clean underneath. Got some aftermarket old man emu shocks. So as most people do, slight lift on their Defenders. Let's get a look at the back. And early 93, all the Defenders were white, and then they started introducing their green, their red, their blue, their yellow, black, beluga black. So super clean under here as well. These sold all across the US. So if you think about it, ones that were in New York or Chicago, they're not going to stand the test of time as well as a California Spec Defender. So how many miles on it? This has just under 75,000 miles. So just look how clean that is. I think it was said best in a video I saw from someone in the UK, and they said, the Defender transcends all. It's the people's car, because you can be a farmer and you're driving a Defender, or you can be the Queen of England. Guess what? She drives a Defender. And the Prince. So just phenomenal. It's amazing that we only got 7,000 of these. Back in the day, even then, these were, the price tag was in the 40s. You can go get a CJ for about half that. So maybe some people just stuck to the CJ. But, fast forward to today, I bet you they bought one of these. Supply and demand. So it's got the tow bar on the back. The only thing really replaced on this vehicle is the exhaust here, which is a nice looking exhaust tip. And it has the safety devices. So this is not just for looks, this is functional. This actually goes through and bolts down welded to the frame. So that's a functional roll cage. Let's get a front view. Okay, and also what comes with the sale of this Defender are 3 tops. So you get the Bohemian, which is just the small top, which is going to span just here. And then you have the Safari top, which spans the entire length, right? So you got your guests, you got people in the back, you want to keep them in shade. And then of course the full canvas top with the roll-up windows. So each of those give it a different cool look. Just depends what you want to do. Me, I think the top would be off all the time and just park it in the garage. And the roll cage, this is really cool. Solid, and it's got that Land Rover kind of mushiness to it. So you're not going to knock your head if you so choose to off-road with this. And this vehicle is a 2-owner. So this is the second owner who's selling it. He's had it about 7 years. It's been most of its time in up in Coto de Caza. So I know we're filming by the ocean, but don't worry, it did not live by the ocean, because even vehicles that are, you know, coastal, they could get that, you know, that morning moist air. So this one hasn't. We're in Southern California. That's the Pacific Ocean you're looking at. So we figured, what better place to film a California Spec Defender than right on the Pacific Ocean in Dana Point. All right, how about we hear that engine crank over? All right, let's give her a crank over. I mean, love to give it a cold crank, but we did drive here, so unfortunately we won't be doing that, but it does crank over, believe me. In the Defender, just like the one you see in the background there, that's mine, you start on this side. So that's just turning the key, not pressing on the gas. This thing purrs like a kitten. If you hang tight in the video, we will do a drive in this. This is how I like to see engines. You know, if someone spit shines this, you know, sprays it with some WD-40 to make it all new and shiny, I don't like that. I'd rather it be dry and you see the engine, you know, not full of mud and dirty, but just like this, because if there's any oil, it's going to show its face right away. So this is super clean. That's a V8, so 4.0 for the US market. 75,000 miles and going strong. This thing will go for a long, long time. Probably barely even reach its quarter life before any major engine work. All right, what do you say we go for a ride? All right, so we'll go for a little spin. We're not gonna hit the highway or anything, but this typically, you know, comfortable 75 miles on the highway. You're not gonna go 85, 90. You're just gonna cruise. It's a cruiser. And that exhaust sounds so good. All original. You know, the top's off, but it's just good to know if it was a blazing hot day and you had the soft top on, you can put on the AC. And that's something the UK ones did not come with. You'd have to add AC after the fact. And I know somebody that added AC and it cost them $12,000 for custom AC. Pretty crazy. Seat's in excellent shape. And the center console is another thing you didn't get in the UK models. The NAS, it's just a nice center console, solid. Purrs like a kitten, folks. All right, so we just finished that little drive and literally 3 different people have come up to us, wanted to have a conversation on this Defender. So you got to be a people person, because you cannot go to the grocery store, you cannot go gas up without having at least 1 or 2 people come ask you about this truck. Young and old, you'll get 20-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 80-year-olds. They all know what a beautiful vehicle is, and this is quite the specimen. So these aren't available every day, as you guys know. As far as price and all, what you can do is you can message me and I can put you in touch with the seller on this vehicle, and you know, take your opportunity now. As you know, 300 of these made in 1997, and this one is on the upper percentile of being just a clean, beautiful Defender. All right, anything I forgot to mention, I'll put in the description, but there you have it. 1997 North American Spec Defender. Thanks for watching.